Hi, this is Merete Fields from InStyle Atlanta. We are here with Courtney Rhodes, the media extraordinaire. You guys need to get out some pen and papers because we're about to drop some serious knowledge. So, Courtney.
Yes.
First off, thanks so much for allowing us to stop by. We're so excited. One of the things that I am just super impressed with is just your extensive knowledge in media and marketing, but it sounds like specifically you're focusing on women.
Right.
And so we are getting slated and getting started to go into Women's History Month. And so what does Women's History Month mean to you?
For the Brandista Guide, which is my blog, and a lot of the speaking engagements I do, I really like to reach out to women because I think early on in my career at iHeartMedia, which was Clear Channel at the time, as a general sales manager, there weren't a lot of women in my space, and I realized that guys have a tendency to market themselves a lot better than women, because they're okay with telling people about how fabulous they are.
Right.
And women, we're just doers by nature. We
Right.
want to make sure that everybody's okay, and so sometimes we're kind of like the last person that we think about. So it became very clear to me during that path that women kind of needed to be encouraged to celebrate who they are, know who they are, and put it out there to help their brand so that people could know what they have to bring to the table. So love speaking to women and working with women.
Good. So in all of your years of experience, what are some things where you've heard some women market themselves and they're like, ooh, sweetie, we need to go back. So tell us some of those stories.
Alrighty, so I think that there's, and I don't want to give any particular story, but I think there's a common misconception, especially as we talk about personal branding. So I think that with personal branding being such a buzzword now, that people are like, oh, I have to personal brand myself. You know, who do I want to be to the public? And I think when you just try to position yourself as someone you're not, it reeks of like fakeness. And I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that women make, because we all are innately really good and have certain talents that if we hone in on the things that are ours, then we don't really need to try to be somebody else. And we can't, honestly. Like, we don't know how to be somebody else. So I think that the women who mess it up is when they try to put this image out there that there's something that they're not, and then their reputation and their consistency never matches up to that brand that they put in the public, and then you look like you're fake, you know?
Yeah, and no one wants that.
And no one wants that.
No. Okay, so then what are some tips? So you clearly have plenty of experience with all of the businesses and also with your blog. So what are some tips that you can give us for the best way to really present ourselves in a really great, sellable way?
Okay, so I think that, again, overall, I'm big on being authentic, because I think women, again, we just have amazing talents just naturally. Like, I think every woman I've probably ever met has had a really high, what I like to call EQ, which is just emotional intelligence. Like, we have this innate ability to feel things. And so I think that we just really need to focus in on those things that make us unique and different. What are we passionate about? Like, I tell women all the time, when you were a little girl and you would just do stuff and you would just love what you were doing and you would get wrapped up, what were those things? Like, what was it that you loved to do?
Right.
Was it, like, for me, I always wanted to play school and I had to be the teacher. I'm not a teacher, but I'm in a position where I get to guide people, and I think that you learn your skills and you really make sure that you're amazing at those things that are in your lane, right?
Right.
And then once you do that, you try to expand your experiences beyond your career. So you volunteer in the community, at your church, and you do things that allow you to continue to develop those skills. And once you do that, I mean, that's really your brand, right?
Right.
And then you decide, how am I going to package this? So I like to volunteer, I speak to women, I like to teach. Just say, you know, you like to talk to women about developing their brand, right? So then how do you then position that on your social media? Well, if you're empowering women, you probably shouldn't be on your social media acting up, right? Like, you really have to make sure that who you say you are, you are. And that's why I think it's very true. So hone in on those skills and then present it to the world in a way that kind of matches it, but have your own personality, have your own voice. But I always like to say, when you walk out of the room, your brand is what people say about you. It's not what we try to craft or create, right? It's that experience. So just be true to yourself, honestly, and then kind of polish the image on the outside.
Okay, so what about when people, are in industries and they can be in industries for several years and then they decide that they want to change completely everything and they also want to change their brand, right? What advice and what tips would you give them if they want to do that?
Sure. So for women wanting to reinvent her brand, I think that you just, again, you don't necessarily change it because you kind of are who you are, the core of who you are, but absolutely you can revamp it. And again, you go back to the skills. What are the things I'm great at? What are the things that need polishing up? How do I make the things I'm great at relevant today? What are the opportunities today that match the things that I'm great at? And then again, things like your LinkedIn bio.
Mm-hmm.
Are you using the correct words? No one wants to hire someone who's a hard worker in corporate America. They want to hire people who are strategic, who are maximizers, right? Because a hard worker, what is that? You know what I mean? Really, right? So you just want to make sure that in all your social media profiles or even your public profiles, whatever that may be, that you really take the time to differentiate yourself and allow people to know what those skills are that you bring to the table. Never chase a job. You chase things that match your skills, and it kind of flows if you just go after that. So just make yourself relevant by constantly staying on top of that and marketing those things.
Got it. You have a big event coming up here in Atlanta on March 21st. Can you let us know a little bit about what we can expect for that event?
Sure. So I have Dream Big, which I'm super excited about. Mm-hmm. And so Dream Big is something that me and a lot of the women that I work with, we always talk about volunteering and helping women because I realized that women feel really fulfilled when we feel like we're giving back to the bigger picture in life, right? And so as I work with Drexina Nelson, who's this fashion photographer here for a lot of my clients actually, and we're always talking about, we're going to do something together, we're going to do some empowering stuff together, and we've done a couple of things together. And this year, I was talking to her leading up into the new year, and I'm like, you know what, Drax, we have to dream big this year. Like, all these things we talk about doing, let's do them. But the problem is you can't do them by yourself. So I kind of said, you know what? How about we call it Dream Big and then we use the tagline connect, communicate, and collaborate. So let me collaborate with 10 amazing women that I know who are actually friends of mine in the space of public relations, brand marketing, celebrity fashion photographer, actually the author of African American History for Dummies. Let's just kind of get together and do some personal branding panels on your stories and things that you've had to overcome as women in your career. What were the things that you've learned along the way that you would like to share with other women, especially as business owners, because I learned some really expensive mistakes that I would love to share with other women so they don't have to do that. And I also, a lot of times, I run into women and they're like, wow, I wish more women were more open. And I think that once we let the guards down, we realize that we're more alike than we are separate. So it'll be an amazing room, and we'll be talking about careers. One lucky person will win a celebrity makeover with Drexina. So you have a stylist, you have a makeup artist, a full-on, fabulous shoot. We're going to be giving away tickets for the Atlanta Ballet. We're going to give a $500 gift card away, courtesy of Way Forward, who's a sponsor. So it's just going to be, again, a fun day, personal branding summits, learning how to, develop your brand and then how you share that brand with the world. So I'm really, really excited about it.
Exciting.
I'm super excited about it.
Sounds super exciting.
It is. It's very exciting.
Well, Courtney, thank you so much for allowing us to stop by. I am just so excited. I hope you guys had your notepad and your pens out because Courtney just dropped some serious knowledge. For more exciting tips, make sure you visit us on InStyleAtlanta.com. Bye.